Just come down. No, don't leave it.
Well, they just said there is.
Okay, I thought you knew. I said 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I check your certificate. If I say 100 times, you check the bag, you know that.
Revolution now, yes.
Yes. I want to find out.
Where's the lawyer? Where are the lawyers?
Yeah, that's all. The trial failed to.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the trial failed to go on again today, and the second defendant was awarded a cost of 150,000. We want to get your reaction.
Our lawyers, as you know, are very competent lawyers. The lead counsel in this case, attorney, is Barrister Femi Falana. And the second lead counsel is Olumide Fusika. You know him. They applied to the court in writing that they want a different date from today and tomorrow, and informed us as their clients that they are written to the court and they expect the court to give a ruling on the matter. Of course, as you are aware, the federal government in the past had also applied through that same procedure to ask for secret witnesses and try in this court before, and they were honored. So only for us to be called at home that they had rushed to court to apply for the revocation of our bail. The reason they are doing that out of desperation, of course, you know, they don't have a real case against us. So they are looking for different ways through which they can return us back to prison. That is their plan. That is the reason they arrested us on January 1st, 2021, and kept us 11 days in different prisons and detention centers in Abuja. So you should understand this by now, because I know I see a lot of you regular faces covering this matter. So, but we have to respect the position of the judge, who said, well, since in the past she had awarded costs against the federal government over this kind of delays, she's going to award the cost against the second defendant, a student in his 20s who can barely afford to eat, whose only crime is protesting against bad governance in the country, to pay 150,000. If they had awarded the cost against me, I would have told the judge practically in the court that I don't have money. I've not worked in a year and a half. And she's aware of that, so you can't even assess cost against me. If someone is a debtor and he doesn't have a way of paying his debt, well, a difficult decision has been made. But again, don't let us be distracted by all this. This is desperation on the part of the federal government, as we have known it. They applied for me to be kept in Abuja for over a year and a half now. They detained me for 5 months. They've tried to detain me again. When you look at the course of events and activities undertaken by this ruthless junta, by Mr. Buhari, you understand that it has nothing to do with justice. This is just persecution and on the basis of frivolous charges. If they had been able to prove their case, they wouldn't have presented only one witness in a year and a half that this case has been going on. But they don't have a case, so they are looking and using subterfuge. But as you know, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just expressing my position as a Nigerian and somebody who has fought several governments with similar characteristics in the past. Don't forget that when Ken Sariwa was alive, under the Babangida regime, there was a time that they made a law of conspiracy, criminal conspiracy, in which they don't require a second person or a third person to be involved in conspiracy to prove it in court. So we've seen this before. We've survived Babangida, survived Abacha, survived Obasanjo, survived all kinds of very wicked regimes, and we will survive this one too. Revolution.
No going back.
Your reaction to today's trial that failed to go on, and the award of cost against one of your clients.
The matter could not go on today. It couldn't go on the previous day too. The previous day was the 25th day of January 2021. Couldn't go on that day because we lost the judge on that date, Justice Ibrahim Watil, and on that basis, the court was forced to adjourn. It was hoped because on that day we were ready, the defense was ready, and the defense was ready, and the defendants were also ready. But we couldn't proceed on that day because of the unfortunate demise of his lordship. The matter was adjourned till today and tomorrow for question of hearing. But unfortunately, the second defendant could not make it to court today. On that basis, we applied for another date to hear the matter proper. We also done a letter earlier on in respect of that, as to vacate this date and give a more convenient date, subject to the court's convenience. But the court felt there was no sufficient reasons why the second defendant should not be in court today. So on that basis, the court awarded cost against the second defendant for his inability to be in court today.
So are you ready for the trial?
We're ready for the trial. We've always been ready for the trial. We've always maintained it that the defendants in this matter, as far as we're concerned, has done nothing wrong. They've only exercised their fundamental human rights under the Constitution by protesting. By protesting. So we are very optimistic that the court will see through all of these things and vindicate them in the long run. Because even the court in Lagos, the federal court in Lagos, had already declared the state protest of that 5th of August 2019 as legitimate. In short, the court slammed the DSS and the police for disrupting that protest. Because the court declared in that particular case that it was within the fundamental right of the defendants in this particular matter to protest on that said date. And it was the fallout of that particular protest was what resulted to the charge that was filed in this court before the same federal high court. So we're optimistic that the court will see through all of these things and then allow the defendants to go back to their normal life. Because as far as we're concerned, they've done nothing wrong under the law.